Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. Good morning. I am Sarah. I am a traditional Usui Reiki master teacher, a holistic life coach, and a yoga teacher. And I go live in this group on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and outside on my business page on Wednesdays, all at 9 a.m. Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And I pick different topics each day to share wisdom and love and insights and enlightening perspectives. So if you like what you hear, please like and comment. If you watch the replay, do hashtag replay. It helps me when you comment and like and get active so that I can reach more people. And I really, really appreciate that. Today's topic is about our heart and how sometimes we close ourselves, we stop feeling, we protect and kind of just guard, and maybe we've been hurt so much before that you have decided that it's safer to not open your heart because the kind of pain that maybe you've experienced is too much to handle, and so you don't want to risk feeling that again and experiencing that again. And so today's talk is about how to gently allow our hearts to open one little petal at a time again, so that we can begin to feel and we can begin to connect directly with the energy of unconditional love and compassion. Before I get started, we have so much going on for the new year, so I'll be rather quick, and I want to focus on just two things today. Number one, the free 5-day challenge is going to run January 25th to the 29th. It was a huge success last September when I ran it. We had like 200 people signed up, and like a lot of them were doing the homework as we went through the week. So I want to give you guys that opportunity again. Even if you have taken the challenge before, I want you to sign up again so that you get the new notifications and the emails and the replays and the recordings. This year, I'm also adding a VIP option where we're going to run the challenge Monday through Friday. And then on Saturday, we're going to have a paid option. It's only $47 for a 3-hour workshop with me. And we're going to get together and talk about manifesting and how to remove the blocks that prevent you from creating your heart's desire and ideal life. So you don't have to do the challenge to sign up for the Saturday workshop, but since the challenge is free, just sign up anyway so you get all the notifications and all the information that you need for Saturday. And then second of all, the yoga teacher training is now open. I've created a super affordable payment plan. That 9-month yoga teacher training program is the most affordable way to work with me. So if you have been on the sidelines and maybe you looked at my 90-day program, or maybe you're wondering if you could do this, if this is for you, just go on my website, check it out, contact me if you have any questions. And training starts March 16, where I'm only going to register 9, maybe maximum 12 people, depending on how I feel the group is coming together. I might cap it even earlier than that because I want to keep it intimate. So if this is something that you're considering, you want to reserve your spot because it will sell out. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Our heart chakra is actually the middle one. There's 3 chakras below and 3 chakras above. It is the seat of our soul, of our spirit. It is where masculine energy and feminine energy come into a place of balance. It is the place that it's the engine of your entire system. And so oftentimes when we close our heart chakra, we actually preventing the flow of energy into the entire system. We do it out of fear. We do it because maybe we don't want to experience pain and emotional pain and suffering that we've experienced in the past. We do it maybe because we trusted someone and opened our hearts to them, and then they literally just broke it. Like they just didn't respect it, they didn't appreciate it. And so you're afraid to be hurt again, and you're afraid to give away your power like that and become vulnerable like that again. And so the first step is to understand why we shut down and close up and protect in the first place. It's a very reasonable response, right? So if you have been hurt, if you have experienced pain, I think it's only normal for us to not want to do that again, to not want to have to go through that again. And so we close ourselves. But then what happens is when you close yourself to the pain and you close yourself to not wanting to be hurt and not wanting to suffer again, then you're also closing yourself to the joy, to the love, to the warmth, to the bliss that comes from being connected and allowing yourself to experience unconditional love and compassion. You know, a lot of the times maybe you gave and helped and, you know, wanted to help someone so much that you gave them more than maybe you had to give. And then they didn't appreciate it. And now you are somewhat hurt. Well, that would tell me that maybe the giving and the loving wasn't as unconditionally as it should have been. Because if he had been really unconditionally, then you wouldn't have expected anything back and you wouldn't have hurt if he wasn't appreciated. Okay? So first is understanding why that happens. Then understanding that when we do that, we prevent positive feelings from flowing through as well. And so how do you open it? The first thing that you have to see is look at the whole situation with a lot of compassion. So only love can override fear. Only love can take away that armor. But where it's kind of like a catch-22, right? So you close down, you don't want to be hurt, you don't want to feel. And here I am telling you that the solution to this is to actually love that. And the answer is yes. You almost have to love the dysfunction, have compassion for the pain that made you close up in the first place. So if you pretend that you don't have a problem, and no, my heart is open, everything is fine, and you know, the world is orderly and everything is, and I have the people who love me, and I'm able to give, and I'm not afraid to get hurt, and yes, I've been hurt in the past, but that's not a problem anymore, I can trust, and you kind of work on it on that surface level, you're still kind of pretending. It's kind of like that armor that you don't even want to acknowledge that you're carrying. So the first thing is to kind of literally allow it to break open. Allow yourself to feel whatever it is that is painful. And it's painful to be closed. It's lonely. It's empty. It's shallow. It's unrewarding. It doesn't allow this incredible warmth. I was working with a student yesterday, and she, you know, we're just doing our coaching, and at some point she says to me, it's like I feel this warmth coming from my heart all the way up, and I'm like, yes, that's exactly love is coming in, and even my cheeks get rosy, like just from warmth and joy and love. And it's the most warm, loving feeling that you could ever experience, right? So the problem is, if you don't know that's what should be, you don't even know what you're missing, because you're just locked it down and decided that it's not okay to let yourself feel that, because it comes with the risk of being crushed and being hurt. And so that fear in and of itself is painful. Like, how sad is it really that we don't want to open up ourselves because we're afraid to love, we're afraid to be loved, we're afraid to be hurt? That in and of itself is what needs to be loved. So in order to open up your heart, you have to kind of start from the inside out by acknowledging what's there, acknowledging why it's there, and without judgment that it's right, wrong, or otherwise, without aversion that it shouldn't be this way, or denial that it isn't that way, without resentment, without blaming, without anger, without pointing fingers, without anything. Just acknowledge the actual pain. It's actually, and this is why it's so hard to do, right? Because I'm telling you, the only way to open your heart is to go through the pain. And that's actually, I think that sometimes the reason that I am able to love so much, and that I am able to give so much and smile so much and have so much joy, is because I've been through hell and back and through so much goddamn pain that my heart just kind of broke open, and now this light can flow. And it's from that place that I could actually teach, right? It's the only way. And this is why when students come to me and they share the most difficult, darkest, frustrating feelings, anger, resentment, frustration, I mean, I deal with it all. I've heard it all, and nothing really faces me, because honestly, there's nothing that without enough love can't be healed. And so a lot of the times it's our ego that gets in the way, and it's attached to the way that things that were supposed to be. It's caught up in the blaming. It's angry at somebody else, when the truth of the matter is, if anybody needs to be angry at anybody, it's you need to be angry at yourself for getting yourself into the situation where somebody could have done that to you in the freaking first place. Like, why did that even happen to you, right? Because you were open to it. And why were you open to somebody crossing those boundaries and violating energetically that, that trust, right? Well, because there's probably a part of you that was in need, that was craving, that was grasping, that wanted to be taken care of, that wanted to be rescued, that wanted to be loved, right? So this is where people have it backwards. A lot of the times we attach ourselves to a dysfunctional situation because we want to be loved. So we only see what we want to see and not really what we need to see. And that's what opens us up to being hurt. When the question should have never been, how can I get love? The question should always be, how can I give love? But you can't give what you don't have. So in order for you to have it to give in a functional way, without expecting, without conditions, without being hurt if it's not properly appreciated, in order for you to actually give and open yourself to love, you have to have it for yourself first. And so at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. How much do you love yourself? And you only know how to love yourself in the way that you have been loved. If you were loved in a conditional way, if you were loved and criticized, if you were loved and manipulated, if you were loved and judged, that's how you love yourself. And so a lot of the times my work with students is creating literally a new point of reference. A lot of the times they come to me and they say, this is gonna sound horrible, but this is how I really feel. And I'm like, okay, when you're working with me, do not preface things by telling me this is gonna sound horrible. It's unnecessary, and it comes from a place of judgment, and it prevents us from actually seeing things from a neutral place and opening our hearts to what is, because it's not positive, it's not negative, it just is. And in order for the healing to begin, you first have to accept what is without judgment. And so a lot of the times the work that I do, and I can only do it because it's been done for me, because I had so much darkness and so much dysfunction and so much drama when I first found my teacher, and she would just look at it and she would accept it all, like, so unconditionally. And so because of that love that I've received, I love myself now regardless of whatever comes up. And from that place, I can then love all of my students and whatever comes up. And when I do that for them, now all of a sudden they have a new point of reference that they never had before. It's a different kind of love because it's unconditional. And unconditionally means literally freaking unconditional. It means no strings attached, no conditions, no judgments, no expectations. It means just literally opening up your heart to give. But you can only do that if you have it to give. And a lot of the times we don't have it to give because unfortunately we've never received it. And this is why a teacher is so helpful. And I'll talk about that sometime next week. And I'm not the teacher for everyone, because you really have to have a lot of courage to work with me. I'm very real and kind of raw. Somebody called me raw the other day. I'm like, is that good or is that not? I'm like, it's just this. I mean, actually, it's a pretty darn good description of how I work. It's just no sugarcoating, no covers, no softening. Why? Because I come from a place of love. And without love, with so much love, then there's no need to sugarcoat, because there's no judgment and there's no fear. And it doesn't matter what it is, it can be completely overridden by love. And that's where I come from. So a lot of people might think that I'm a little bit that blunt and direct and a little raw. And I'm like, yeah, I guess that's the case, because once you really have enough light flowing through the system, there's no fear, because there's no judgment. And so then there's no need to put all of these guards and sugarcoat and protect and pretend and put up those walls and compartmentalize and all that freaking dysfunction that humans do to protect themselves from not feeling the pain. So I hope this is helpful. Some of these topics are hard to grasp, right? They're not something that you can maybe intellectualize or write and understand. But it is my hope that as you listen to these talks, there's a part of you that actually something like a little spark goes off. And it begins to ignite a little bit of a fire. And that's it right there. So depending on who you talk to, but the way that I was trained, the element of this heart chakra is fire. And that is actually more accurate than a lot of other descriptions that you're gonna hear. If you actually feel it, when you actually open your heart, that's what it feels like. It feels like fire. It feels warm. It feels cozy, like a big, nice, warm hug. So, I hope that maybe even if it's a little bit of rambling, I tend to ramble, it's helpful, and that you are getting the energetic download, and that today's talk somehow sparks and cracks a little bit of light into whatever armor you might have put around you to protect. And so you have to understand with compassion that it's there for a reason, and that there's no need for that to be there anymore, and that you can learn to love fearlessly and live fearlessly and give unconditionally, first to yourself and then to everyone else. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you do #replay, comment and play, comment and like. I appreciate it. 2 announcements. Number 1, 5-day challenge is completely free. Just sign up on the link above on the group somewhere. I think it's on my website, sarahco.com. If not, I definitely need to put that challenge on my website. It needs to be. I'm sure it's there. And yoga teacher training starts March 16. Guys, I cannot tell you what an amazing journey that 9-month program is. You really need to go to my website and you need to read those testimonials. You need to look at the syllabus. It's like nothing, even if you don't want to be a yoga teacher, this isn't, yes, you will be empowered to be a yoga teacher, but first you need to be your own teacher. So this program, this level 1 yoga teacher training is there to help you feel empowered to be your own teacher, because only from there can you really actually be somebody else's teacher. You have to first love yourself unconditionally so you can see what needs to be fixed, and then you can work on it, and from an unconditional place of love and light. And then once you've done that for yourself, then you can tell me you can go teach somebody. And we use yoga because it's tangible, it's easy for people to relate to. It's a very practical way of sharing this love and of giving. It's a very practical way for you to nurture your body, your mind, your spirit. When you get to your mat, it's a prayer of love, every movement, every pose. And a lot of that has been lost in yoga nowadays, but not with me, because that's what makes me different than any other yoga teacher you're gonna find out there. The fact that I really walk the path all the way through, and that's what you learn in this 9-month program. And it's the most affordable way to work with me out of all my programs. This yoga teacher training is super affordable. The prices are on the website. The payment plans are right online. You can sign up right online, and then you can book a call, an onboarding call with me. Or if you have any questions, I don't know if there's a link to book a call. Man, to-do list, right? Book a call link. and 5 challenge. I will make sure this stuff is on my website so I can just send people there to do what they need to do. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Happy New Year. Namaste.